Hey, welcome back everybody. If you are here, I'm guessing you watched the first video, just kind of explaining what I'm doing and why I'm doing this. So I'm not going to worry about that too much right now. Let's get into this week. Okay, so the purpose of this post is to give you an idea of what week one is going to look like. What am I doing? Why am I doing it? Okay, so what I plan to do is over here somewhere, I'm going to put the training for the week. Okay, so if you look at it, you'll notice a couple things. First of all, there's two workouts, there's two weight training sessions, and there's one long run. Okay, that's me pretty standard practice through the next 16 weeks. That just seems to be kind of a consistency that seems to work for me. Okay, for some people, they may need to drop down to one workout, one long run, change the number of weight training sessions. You can kind of play around with it a little bit, but really, I wouldn't go more than two workouts and the long run. You kind of need more recovery in between than going more than that. So, all right, so let's start looking at what the week looks like. Okay, so let's start off at the very top. So Monday. Monday we got actually it's a relatively easy workout. The idea this week is to be relatively low key. The idea is just kind of getting consistency in, remembering what it's like to have that structure of having workouts, just kind of getting the volume going and things like that. We're really not diving super deep, super intense with everything. Even the long run's not super intense considering for marathon training. Okay, so Monday we got going on 8 by 1K. Okay, and like I said, not that difficult, right? This is a pace that we should, in the end of 16 weeks, be able to cover 42 kilometers in, and we're just doing 8 of them. Okay, the idea here is marathon pace really doesn't give much in the way of a physiological gain. If anything, it's more of a mental, psychological gain. Okay, so I'm really just kind of dialing in like what that pace is, what it feels like, what marathon effort's going to be going on 16 weeks from now. Okay, so probably not going to do a whole lot of it. If anything, I'm going to start implementing that more into the long runs as we get going, just to kind of get that feel of fatigue and everything after some time on the feet there. So that's Monday. Tuesday, we're just going to do an easy aerobic run. Not that hard. It's kind of going to be just getting some volume in, getting a couple miles, not really anything super exciting. Wednesday, though, however, is our really kind of our bigger workout of the week. It's a fartlek. And I think the fartlek, one of the most underutilized, underappreciated workouts there are out there. Okay. The fartlek as a workout has so many different ways you can utilize it. It has a vast number of specific workouts you can do and target different things with it. All right, so the term itself just means speed play. It's a Swedish term. So if we were to do a fartlek in the truest sense, we would just go out there and we would go faster sometimes, slower in others, and just kind of have fun throughout the workout. But today, and as through most of the workouts, we're going to be doing it in a sense where there's going to be a certain amount of structure to it. Okay, so as we see on here, it says 2 sets of 4 minutes, minute rest, 3 minutes, minute rest, 2 minutes. We're going to take 3 minutes rest at the end of the set before we start our second set. Now the paces. We're going to start that 4-minute set at marathon effort. Again, this week, nothing super difficult, nothing super hard, just kind of getting some work in. Remember what it's like to start getting back to training. We'll take that minute rest. It's not walking, it's not stopping, it's still just jogging around a little bit, but we're not moving that fast. Okay, so we'll go down to 3 minutes. 3 minutes, we're gonna be kind of dropping down to tempo effort. Okay, so most of the paces that we're really gonna try and focus on in training have to do with certain physiological thresholds. Okay, tempo effort is a threshold that has to do with helping us clear lactate from our system. I'll do a bigger blog later on, really kind of talking about what the physiology of that training pace is, but we're not going to worry about it too much right now. Just realize that it's a pace somewhere a little bit slower than a little bit slower than 10K pace, but a little bit faster than a half marathon pace. So we're looking somewhere in between there. And then we're going to take 1 minute rest, easy jog again, and then we're going to come back and we're going to do 2 minutes at what we call Vo2. Okay, so Vo2 Max is kind of our maximum aerobic power, maximum aerobic capacity. Again, I'll do another video really diving deep into that, but we're just realizing this is somewhere between 3K and 5K race pace. Okay, so again, it's a good workout, goes through some paces, goes through some change of effort, And it's going to be a decent volume day, getting some warm up and cool down in it, and then kind of getting through. Our 2 weight room sessions are, I'm going to get to those later. I'm going to bring my wife on. She's going to do a whole thing talking about what we're doing while we're doing it. So we're not going to worry about it today. But just realize the idea of the weight room is not to get big. It's not to get bulky. It's not to, be able to, get super strong, but it's going to change, some of the biomechanics. We're going to fix some insufficiencies I might have, and we're going to work on some efficiency stuff with my stride, things of those sorts. That's really the idea of the weight training. So it's not, when people hear about weight training and runners, like, oh, I don't want to get big, I don't want to get bulky. No, that's not the idea. We're gonna do a lot of body weight stuff. We're gonna do some lighter weight stuff. We will start kind of building up the weight as we get going through it, but really, it's not gonna be super, super intense. Okay, but it is gonna be super, super important with training. Okay, and the last thing to really kind of pay attention to is the long run. Okay, so long run is, we're gonna start off relatively small, in the grand scheme of things. You look at it and you're like 90 minutes, that's a fair amount of time to be on your feet and running. But when we're looking at training and, by the end of this, we're gonna be getting up to 2.5, close to 3 hours for some of these runs. Hour and a half, not that bad. So, but the whole idea there is just getting time on the feet, get moving. Like I said, later on through the training cycles, we'll start adding in some stuff at marathon pace. But for right now, we're just getting time on the feet. I do know some people like to look at more mileage for their long run. Some people like to look at it more for just time for their long run. You're gonna see me, I'm gonna kind of bounce back and forth between the two. So this week specifically, we're gonna be doing more time on the trails. So I'm just gonna worry about time, because when you're going up hills, down hills, terrain, time doesn't really mean, or paces don't really mean much, okay? When we start doing some stuff on the roads, and we're gonna kind of alternate back and forth. So like next week we'll be on the roads. When we're on the roads, then I'll start kind of looking at distances and paces, and that's when we'll start adding in some stuff like marathon effort and whatnot. But I think it's important to have this contrast of both time on the trails and time on the roads. Roads are going to be more specific to the races. Trails, they're going to be a little bit more forgiving, a little bit more pleasing to the psyche. You do a lot of training on the roads. Going to the trails, helps just kind of overall mental health and stuff like that. By having different terrain to run on, you work different muscles, different intrinsic muscles, and you really kind of develop other strength and give you more injury prevention in the long run by going up there and doing things on the trails and whatnot. So, all right, hope that answers a lot of questions. If you guys have more questions, put them down in the comments. I'm going to kind of read through those and try and answer those as we go through this process. So next up, you'll see later on the week, Alicia will be jumping on, explaining what my weight training is going to be this week. And then this weekend, I'll give a little update on how training went. And then we'll kind of get through that cycle. And periodically, I'll start adding in little videos here and there that give a little bit of insight to different aspects of training. So, all right. Hope you guys enjoyed. And until next time, happy running. Bye.